Hello English learners, it's Michael here again with Level Up English. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm here today in Portsmouth and I might look very tired today because I'm actually pet sitting at the moment. This is a pretty good expression, pet sitting. It's like babysitting, looking after babies, but I'm looking after someone's pets while they're on holiday. So in Portsmouth today with Molly here as well, who you might remember from a previous video. There she is. So I've never been to Portsmouth before, but we are walking around and we're actually going to be using an app today. Not sponsored, I promise, but the name of this app is called Adventure Lab. I don't know if this is available in other countries, but in the UK it's really useful because essentially what it is like an app where you can take like a tour around a city or a place, usually a place of historical significance. So I'm going to use one of these adventures in the app today and hopefully learn a little bit about the history, and if there's anything of note that I want to share as we do it, I'll film my video and I'll share it with you guys as well. So hopefully we can learn together on this trip. So see you in a minute. By the way, I don't think I explained very well a second ago. I'm really tired at the moment because the dog, one of the dogs that I've been looking after, has been barking all night and it hasn't let us get any sleep. So we've been waking up at like random intervals all throughout the night. It's been really annoying, and I've got these huge bags under my eyes and I kind of feel a bit like a zombie today. So I'm very tired. I think Molly's feeling the same. So the first step of our adventure brought us to this fountain here. There wasn't really much history to learn. It was mostly just kind of saying this is a common meeting point for people in the city. Another good word for meet is maybe to converge. Converge means like come together, so people like to converge at this place, I guess. Another good one is rendezvous. Rendezvous. It looks like rendezvous. This is a French word, but rendezvous means to meet someone. A bit more formal, as you might be able to tell, but I guess people like to rendezvous at this point behind me here. Okay, let's go to the next spot on the adventure. So I'm walking over to the next location now, next part of the adventure. Admittedly, not a super fun adventure, but at least it helps us kind of walk around the town and we get to kind of see new places around the city centre. But maybe a couple of facts about Portsmouth that you might find interesting. So first of all, it's actually the only island city in the UK. So it is technically an island because on the south side, it borders the sea completely. So it borders the coast on the English Channel. On the north side, there's a small passageway, like a small river, that separates it from the mainland. So it is technically an island. Another fact about Portsmouth that I read online is that it was burned down 4 times by the French in the 14th century. So it was burned down and rebuilt 4 times. So here's a cool memorial we just came across in the park. We've got a bell here from the year 1900, taken from Japan, and it was carried back here by one of our naval ships. So here's a huge war memorial here. Again, I'm not an expert on this, but because of its kind of strategic position on the south coast, it was really bombed a lot during World War II. And as you can see by the names on the plaques on the walls around here, and many people lost their lives in the bombings in Portsmouth. Okay, so we've been brought to the final stage of the adventure now. It's fairly interesting. Charles Dickens, we've got a nice statue of Charles Dickens here. So Charles Dickens was actually born in Portsmouth, as you can see here, in 1812. So we've got a nice statue of him there. So honestly, the adventure wasn't as good as I thought. I mean, it's not really a good example of the app. Usually it's a lot more fun, so I do recommend it if you have it, if it exists in your country. So I might skip some bits and omit some parts of the video, but now we're going to go to the sea, and hopefully it'll be a bit more interesting there. A lot of history, a lot of stuff to see. A little bit like this. Very interesting hall here. So yeah, that adventure we did, it wasn't very good. It was quite underwhelming, actually, a little bit disappointing. And it seemed to take us to like the kind of dodgy part of town. Dodgy is kind of a good word, which means a little bit uncomfortable, perhaps a little bit unsafe for some reason. And the area we're in now is very nice. It's not run down as much as it was before. Run down is kind of like not looked after properly and not taken care of, a run down area of town. There's a lot of naval history here on the seafront, as you can see. We've got a nice big cannon here, some kind of sculpture, and of course this huge tower, really striking tower right on the harbour. We can describe something as striking when it's like really obvious and beautiful, and it's impossible to ignore, basically, this striking tower. So I'm stood here next to a very noisy flagpole reading the information board about this tower. This tower is called Spinnaker Tower, I guess. Never heard it pronounced before. It was opened officially in 2005. And you might be able to see right at the top, it's got a glass floor. So I'm not brave enough to go there, but you can see here there's a glass floor, so you can stand over the floor and look down below, if you have the guts to do that, which I do not. Another really cool thing you can do from Portsmouth Harbour is take a hovercraft to the Isle of Wight. Unfortunately, this is not something we're going to be able to do today because we don't have enough time, but it's essentially like a big hovercraft that can go on the sea and on the land. It's really cool, and maybe I can put a link to a video in the description or something like that so you can have a look for yourself as well. So here you can see the city of Portsmouth on this map here. It doesn't actually show it, but there is like a river here that separates it, makes it into an island. But there's Portsmouth. And as you can see below here, we've got the Isle of Wight, one of, I forget if it's its second biggest or it's one of the biggest islands in Britain. And as you can see here, this is a nice little image of the hovercraft you can take. So it starts from here, goes down to Ryde here. That'll be maybe a video for another day. So yeah, maybe the first part wasn't super interesting, but then as we got to the harbour, the port area, a lot of history, a lot more modern and kind of a rich area, affluent area perhaps. And maybe I could leave you today with one expression which is loosely related to where we are, because it involves a fish, which is kind of connected to the sea, right? If you see my logic. And this is a fish out of water. You might be able to guess, but if you are a fish out of water, it's like you're very uncomfortable, you're out of your element. You know, a fish out of water is not going to be comfortable, right? They're not supposed to be out of water. So for example, I could say, today I'm like a fish out of water because I am filming in a place I haven't been before and I don't know much about it. So I'm a little bit uncomfortable perhaps, but I'm always uncomfortable. So I'm a fish out of water today. So let me know in the comments how you could use that expression for your own life as well. So here we've got the beautiful seafront now, looking out across to the English Channel over there. Nice beach, but it's not exactly the kind of beach you might want to go sunbathing on because it's very pebbly. Pebbly, we can use this adjective to describe a beach that has lots of pebbles. Pebbles are round stones, basically, and rounded by the sea. Hopefully you can hear me because it's very windy here by the coast. So this is a fairly common sight throughout England, actually. You get a lot of these kind of old churches that you can see the roof has been collapsed, presumably. It's collapsed or it's no more. I don't know the history of this church. I'll put a message on screen to confirm whether it's true or not. But I imagine it was a church that was bombed during the war and it's kind of left here now as a memorial, perhaps. There's a similar church like it in Southampton and another one in Plymouth where it was bombed and destroyed in the war. All that was left were the walls on the side, but it was left as kind of a memorial, a way to remember the war and also preserve the history of that church as well. I think it's quite a nice thing to do to not forget what happened. So as I said earlier in the video, you know, the city was burnt down quite a few times. It was attacked many times in the past because of its position right on the south of England. I imagine something like this. It used to be a big gun, a big cannon kind of here. You know, this is right on the coast here, as you can see. So I imagine there were kind of strategic weapons or cannons placed here to protect the town from further attacks. I'm only guessing, but I can't think, you know, what else this would be for, this circle here. And there's a wild molly. So let me know, what do you think of Portsmouth? Was this a good introduction? Let me know in the comments what you think of your first impression. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye for now.
Bye-bye.